From Sparky targeting air to the witch spawning giant skeletons, these are 47 evolutions that would absolutely ruin Clash Royale. Number 1. Elite Barbarians. Imagine dual-wielding swords. These e-barbs swing twice as fast, turning them into pure destruction machines. Now give them a shield, one that absorbs the first hit like a Dark Prince, and now turn them into Bandit. Then there's Infinite Rage. From the moment they spawn, these e-barbs are permanently enraged. Another version lets them unleash earthquakes with every swing, or you know what, picture them throwing their swords, some mid-range attacks that hit from a distance before they even reach their target. And then, Sword Masters. They spin in a full 360 degrees with every strike, slicing through multiple enemies at once. That's not just power, it's precision with flair. Number 2. Gollum. A portable elixir collector disguised as a tank. This golem generates elixir the more health it loses, and once destroyed, it gives you a bonus 5 elixir instantly. Now imagine Gollum dies, splits into 2 Golemites, and then those Golemites clone themselves on impact. Another version increases his attack speed and doubles his damage, making him not just a tank, but a terrifying beatdown monster. Then there's the Quake Strike. Every hit causes an earthquake beneath his feet, shaking the ground and damaging everything around him. Some evolutions make him completely immune to spells. No tornado, no freeze, no knockback, just an unstoppable force marching forward. Now take the Golemites and let them split again into even more mites, a never-ending chain of destruction. And finally, with each attack, the Golem launches boulders across the entire arena, slamming down like meteors, crushing everything in their path. Number 3. Hog Rider! Imagine a Hog Rider that doesn't stop when he dies. Instead, he leaves behind a damage over time effect that hits the tower twice as much as a normal hog, even after he's gone. Next up, an earthquake on first impact. The moment he hits a tower, the ground shakes. I'm sensing a theme here. Then there's a version that ignores buildings entirely. He charges past distractions and locks straight onto the tower. No detours, no delays. And the most insane concept yet, a Hog Rider that dodges everything. Rockets, fireballs, snowballs, leaping over spells, and landing with a tower-shattering one-shot hit. Number 4. Prince. Imagine a prince that slams into the arena with spawn damage and swings in a circle like the Dark Prince. Now give him knockback. Each hit sends troops flying, breaking up defenses and clearing the path with style. Next, every time he strikes, he sets the ground ablaze, a trail of fire that burns anything left behind. And finally, a prince that's always charging. Every hit is double damage, no wind-up, no slowdown, just pure unstoppable momentum. Finally give the pony the spotlight. Hey, quick pause. Hit that subscribe button for me. It's free and it helps me way more than you think. Thanks. Number 5. Baby Dragon. This version of Baby Dragon spits poison, each shot releasing a cloud of toxins that slowly melt through enemy troops. Then comes the death damage. Now when it falls, it drops a ticking time bomb just like a balloon. Another twist brings Baby Dragon pups into the mix. Like a lava hound, it splits on death and keeps the pressure going. Now its fireballs explode on impact, creating bursts of area damage that punish even well-spaced units. One evolution splits the Baby Dragon into 2 after death, a mid-air diversion that overwhelms defenses with some double trouble. Or maybe it just duplicates itself every second. 1 becomes 2, then 4, then oh my god. And finally, the most horrifying version yet, it gulps enemies whole. One chop and they're gone. Number 6. Balloon. Imagine giving the balloon rocket jets. Suddenly, it's blazing across the arena at lightning speed. Now strap an electric field to it, like a Tesla riding on top. It zaps nearby troops as it floats, punishing everything that dares to get close. Then there's the balloon with an air sweeper. Now throw a bomber inside, and as the bomber floats, it lobs bombs at both air and ground troops, turning it into a flying fortress. Or how about dropping a giant skeleton bomb on death? Then there's the one that spawns infinite wall breakers. Totally balanced, obviously. And finally, instead of dropping bombs, it drops skeleton barrels, a full aerial invasion in disguise. Number 7. Bandit. The Bandit dashes with a super splash, striking in an area like the Dark Prince and clearing everything in her path. Then she gains a stun effect, locking her enemies in place with every dash and taking full control of the fight. Another version lets her spawn shadow clones. 4 of them appear with each dash, and with every follow-up, even more. She also gains invisibility between charges, just like the Royal Ghost, disappearing until the moment she strikes. One evolution boosts her dash range and damage, letting her hit harder from further away. Then there's the electric version. Each zap hits the target, shocking enemies on contact. And finally, the ultimate form. A super dash that instantly eliminates whatever it touches. Number 8. Barbarian Hut. Now imagine the Barbarian Hut spawning 4 evolved barbarians at once, 2 from each side, flooding both lanes with power. Next, it's armed with a defensive barrel. When enemy troops get close, the hut deploys a surprise attack to hold the line. Then there's the version that spawns evolved battle rams. Pretty nice. Or, you know what, make it spawn elite barbarians instead. Now it's not a hut, it is a full-on war factory. Another concept launches barbarians across the map like Evo Mortar goblins. And finally, a hut that never stops. It spawns barbarians endlessly. Number 9. Bowler. Now picture the bowler with extended range. His boulder rolls from the river all the way to the tower. Very satisfying. Then give him unstoppable knockback. Every roll sends even the heaviest of troops back, no matter their size. Now add a slowing effect. Each boulder chills enemies like an ice wizard, making pushes crawl forward hopelessly. Then there is this insane idea. His boulders explode into golems. Or you know what, take it even further. The boulders themselves explode on impact, turning every hit into a mini bomb blast. Number 10. Electrogiant. Imagine Electrogiant spawning Electro Spirits as he walks. Next, his Zap Pack gets a massive upgrade. It shocks every troop attacking him, no matter where they are, with infinite range and constant punishment. And finally, each of his attacks calls down a lightning from above. Number 11. Electro Wizard. The Electro Wizard creates an electric fence with both hands, twin streams of lightning that split the arena and fry anything caught in between. Then he gains an electrical radius, releasing a shockwave every few seconds that zaps all nearby troops. On deployment, he doesn't just stun, he calls down 2 lightning strikes, doubling the voltage and doubling the pain. Another version lets him target 3 troops instead of 2, spreading his power wider than ever. Some evolutions even have him spawning Electro Spirits mid-fight, sending chain shocks across the battlefield. Then his stun effect gets stronger. Each hit holds enemies in place a bit longer, locking down entire pushes. And finally, he stops zapping and starts firing pure lightning. Precise, devastating, and absolutely electrifying. Number 12. Ice Wizard. Now imagine the Ice Wizard firing ice spirits instead of simple bolts. Next, he arrives with a chilling entrance. His spawn damage freezes nearby troops the moment he hits the arena. Then there's the damage over time version. His attacks create lingering frost zones that slow and chip away like a mix of ice and poison. Another evolution gives him mega snowballs. And finally, he becomes the Frost Lord. Number 13. Witch. The witch summons evolved skeletons instead of the usual ones. Then she takes it up a notch and spawns a giant skeleton, instantly turning defense into unstoppable pressure. Another version gives her a ranged evolved spell. When it lands, it spawns evolved skeletons right where it hits. She can also summon 8 skeletons at once, overwhelming even the best splash defense in seconds. Then comes the Cursed Touch. Every troop she defeats returns as a guard, shield and all. And finally, Total Madness. She spawns 4 giant skeletons every 3 seconds, flooding the arena with explosive doom. Number 14. Rocket. One shot, and it's game over. Number 15. Arrows. Imagine arrows with 6 waves instead of 3. Then there's the poison variant. It fires in 3 bursts, and each one leaves behind a toxic effect that chips away at anything that survives. Another evolution slows troops down infinitely. 1 hit and they're stuck in slow motion for the rest of their lives, like they took an arrow to the knee. And finally, a massive radius combined with infinite waves of arrows. Number 16. Bomb Tower. Now imagine Bomb Tower dropping low damage bombs with every attack, filling the ground with mini explosives that stack over time. Then give it the power to hit both air and ground troops, turning it into a full-range defensive beast. Next, when destroyed, it spawns 2 wall breakers, and finally, it rapid-fires bombs from long range. Number 17. Cannon Cart. What about the cannon cart repairing itself after breaking down? Sounds good, right? Then give it a musketeer on top. She rides into battle sniping air troops while the cannon handles the ground. Absurd, deadly, and kinda brilliant. Next, its cannonballs explode on impact, dealing splash damage and clearing out swarms with every shot. And finally, load it with TNT-packed cannonballs. Number 18. Battle Healer. Now imagine the Battle Healer resurrecting nearby troops to full health, bringing them back from the brink mid-battle. Then when she falls, she drops a heal spell on the ground, a final gift that keeps your push alive. And finally, she channels a healing stream from range, restoring allies from a distance without ever needing to be near the fight. Number 19. Goblin Demolisher. He drops a bomb on death, one final blast that doubles the pain and punishes anything nearby. Then his dynamite set the ground on fire with every throw, burning anything that dares to walk through. Another version adds explosive spawn damage. The moment he drops, the ground erupts. And finally, he tosses evolved wall breakers instead of dynamite. Number 20. Fire Spirit. Now imagine the Fire Spirit splitting into 3, just like the good old days, bringing back beautiful, fiery nostalgia. Then give it Chain Burn. It leaps from one troop to the next, spreading flames and stacking burn damage with each jump. Another version leaves fire on the ground after impact, creating a napalm zone that keeps dealing damage over time. And finally, it rapid fires giant fire spirits. Number 21. Mini Pekka. What about a Mini Pekka with a hook, dragging enemies like a stronger silent fisherman just ready to finish the job? Or maybe he's trying to share his pancakes with the enemy. Then there's the dashing Mini Pekka, just like the Bandit. And finally, one that spawns Mini Pekka babies on death. Adorable. Number 22. Flying Machine. Now imagine the Flying Machine firing chain bullets, jumping from one target to the next, just like the Electro Dragon, but even faster. Then give it a secret payload. When destroyed, it spawns a master builder who drops in and keeps on fighting on the ground. Another version lets it shoot multiple bullets at once, like a flying hunter, and finally, it turns into a true sniper. Its range covers the entire arena, picking off targets from the safety of your king tower. Number 23. Giant Skeleton. The giant skeleton marches in with a bomber on its back, finally bringing the splash damage he's always needed to deal with swarms. Then comes the gunpowder trail. Every step leaves a fuse that ignites when his bomb goes off, wiping out everything behind him. And finally, he starts lobbing bowler-style bombs, rolling them forward with infinite force and crushing everything in their path. Number 24. Goblin Hut. Now imagine a Goblin Hut with a dart goblin on top, sniping enemies while the hut spawns troops below. Then it goes wild, spawning 6 spear goblins at once, overwhelming both lanes with ranged pressure. Another version keeps it simple, spawning a single dart goblin instead of spear goblins. Precise, deadly, and efficient. And finally, Chaos Mode. It spawns 15 goblin brawlers. Hooray. Number 25. Guards. The moment their shield breaks, they push enemies back. Then there's the 5-guard formation. They spawn in a line like a budget royal recruit squad. Next, all 3 guards dash like bandits. And finally, the guard battalion. Number 26. Inferno Dragon. The Inferno Dragon starts at 50% charge right out of the gate, melting enemies way faster than before. Then his beam leaves behind a burning trail, scorching the ground and punishing anything that follows. Another evolution adds area damage to his attack, letting him melt through entire squads instead of just one target. And finally, he fires a death laser from across the arena, a single devastating beam that erases anything in its path. Number 27. Dark Prince. Now imagine the Dark Prince's pony getting a shield too, making him twice as hard to stop right from the start. Then he enters the arena with a 360 splash, damaging everything around him the moment he spawns. And finally, a regenerating shield. Break it once and it comes back, letting him tank again and again in the same push. Number 28. 3 Musketeers. The 3 Musketeers line up like royal recruits, spreading across the arena to take control from the very first second. Then there's the decoy row. They're cloned, but only you can tell which ones are real. Your opponent sees them as identical threats. And finally, give them a super shot, a charged blast that deals massive damage and pierces through anything in its path. Number 29. Sparky. Sparky powers up with an electrical force field, zapping nearby enemies before it even begins to charge. Then it gains the ability to target air, because why not turn a nightmare into a full-on menace? Another version has it spawning electro spirits with every shot, chaining stuns alongside its devastating blasts. And finally, the classic returns, rapid fire and long range, just like 2016 Sparky. Fast, deadly, and impossible to ignore. Number 30. Mega Minion. Now imagine the Mega Minion dealing knockback with every swing, pushing back even the toughest ground troops mid-air. Then give it a cursed strike that turns enemy troops into minions. Another version lets it spawn minions alongside itself, creating a built-in swarm that overwhelms defenses. And finally, it grows to 100 times its normal size, a massive, sky-dominating titan that casts a shadow over the entire arena. Number 31. Minions. Minions throwing tiny firework rockets? I'm in. Then they start dropping fire sparks on impact, leaving behind burning embers that deal extra damage over time. And finally, they ditch those swipes and shoot lasers. Precise beams that melt through air and ground troops with terrifying speed. Number 32. Minion Horde. Now imagine a Minion Horde that reflects spells. Arrows, fireball, zap all bounce right back, making them untouchable from the sky. Then give them a poison death effect. When they fall, they leave behind a toxic cloud that punishes everything chasing after them. Another version adds an electric shockwave on spawn, zapping nearby enemies the moment they enter the arena. And finally, the pure insanity option. Instead of regular minions, they spawn 12 Mega Minions. The sky will never be safe again. Number 33. Ice Golem. The Ice Golem stomps every 4 tiles, freezing the ground beneath him for a full second with each step. Then he gains a chilling aura. Any troop that gets too close is instantly slowed or frozen in place. And when he falls, he splits into 2 ice spirits that leap forward and carry on the freeze, extending his frosty legacy even after death. Number 34. Inferno Tower. Now imagine the Inferno Tower targeting 2 units at once, doubling the burn and doubling the threat. Then it gets a slowing effect, melting enemies while freezing their movement at the same time. Another version spawns lava pups on death, turning a defensive structure into a surprise air swarm. And finally, give it infinite range, locking onto targets from across the entire arena. No escape, no mercy. Number 35. Magic Archer. The Magic Archer fires arrows in a wider radius, slicing through even more troops with pinpoint precision. Then his range extends across the arena, sniping enemies from a distance they never saw coming. Another version stuns on hit, locking targets in place and disrupting entire pushes with surgical timing. And finally, he unleashes 100 times his normal power. Every arrow a devastating beam that erases anything in its path. Number 36. Rascals. Now imagine the Rascals creating a gum stun field, slowing and stunning enemies that get caught in their sticky trap. Then picture them rolling into battle inside a giant barrel, crashing open on arrival and bursting into action. And finally, give them knockback. Each hit pushes enemies back, adding control to their already chaotic presence. Number 37. Log. The log rolls with a chilling twist, freezing troops for 2 full seconds as it passes through. Then it leaves behind a poisonous trail, slowly chipping away at anything caught in its path. Another version lets it never stop rolling, with infinite range that turns the entire arena into a danger zone. And finally, absolute chaos, infinite knockback, and infinite stun. Once it hits, you're not moving ever again. Number 38. Fireball. Now imagine a fireball that creates a linear explosion, a burning path that stretches forward. Then it spawns 6 lava pups on impact, turning offense into an instant aerial assault. Another version clones your nearby troops instead of damaging them, a fiery surprise that multiplies your push. And finally, pure chaos, 5 waves of giant fireballs rain down, obliterating the entire arena in an endless inferno. Number 39. Night Witch. The Night Witch summons evolved bats, faster, stronger, and far more threatening than the originals. Then her bats enter the arena permanently enraged, while she casts magic attacks of her own, turning every push into a chaotic storm of wings and spells. Another version trades bats for minions, bringing more bulk and sustained air control to every push. And finally, pure insanity, she spawns 4 mega minions every second, flooding the skies with unstoppable force. Number 40. Spear Goblin. Now imagine spear goblins with piercing spears, each throw slicing through multiple enemies in a straight line. Then give them a cursed ability that transforms enemy troops into goblins, flipping the battlefield in your favor. Another version adds knockback to every spear, pushing back anything they hit and disrupting enemy formations. And finally, complete insanity. They ditch the spears and start launching rockets instead, turning a cheap support card into a long-range demolition squad. Number 41. Giant. The Giant becomes immune when attacking a tower, and just when he's about to fall, he restores a chunk of his health to stay in the fight. Then he gains a long-distance punch, smashing defenses from afar before his massive fists even reach him. Number 42. Princess. Now imagine the princess leaving behind a burning area where her arrows land. Then there is the double deployment, 1 princess on each side of the arena, doubling the pressure instantly. Another version gives her rapid fire when first spawned, unleashing a flurry of arrows to clear out swarms in seconds. And finally, she ditches the arrows and starts firing rockets, long-range devastation with every shot. Number 43. Royal Hogs. Royal Hogs burst into the arena at lightning speed, catching opponents off guard before they even realize what's happening. Then comes a strange twist. When they're defeated, their helmets fall off and they transform into regular piglets, just like a Mother Witch curse in reverse. Another version lets them leap toward buildings like tiny Mega Knights, closing distance with a crushing slam. And finally, their attacks explode on impact, dealing splash damage and turning every hit into pure chaos. Number 44. Skeleton Army. Now imagine every skeleton in the army with a 1 HP shield, doubling their survivability and making swarm counters twice as hard. Then toss in 2 bombers alongside them, adding splash damage to the chaos and shredding enemy ground defense. Another version deals spawn damage the moment they appear, wiping out squishy troops instantly before the first swing. And finally, total madness. They don't spawn 14, they spawn 100 skeletons, flooding the entire arena in bones. Number 45. Skeleton Barrel. The Skeleton Barrel flies in loaded with extra skeletons and a pair of mini balloons, delivering both ground and air threats in one explosive drop. Then it gains a cloning effect on impact, splitting into 2 identical barrels the moment it breaks, doubling the chaos instantly. Number 46. Suspicious Bush. The Bush Goblins start completely invisible, only revealing themselves after a few seconds, catching opponents off guard with a sudden strike. Then the Bush spawns 4 Goblins instead of 1, turning a single tile of grass into a full-on ambush. Another version makes it immune to spells. No log, no arrows, nothing can uncover what's hiding inside. And finally, the leaves explode open to reveal an entire Goblin Giant army, flooding the arena with unstoppable green fury. Number 47. Expo. Now imagine the Expo firing piercing bolts like the magic archer, slicing through multiple troops in a single line. Then give it fiery shots that ignite on impact, burning everything they hit over time. Another version fires freezing bolts, slowing and disabling troops with each shot. And finally, it channels Sparky. But wait, we are far from finished. Now it's time to check out this video about the 17 spirits that would break Clash Royale. I'll see you there.